Welcome back to the channel.
What do we want to talk about?
We're here today to rank every male WWE wrestler on the active roster today. And by that, I mean the main roster. So if they are on WWE Raw or SmackDown, they're here. Hayden and Steven,
No
welcome.
speed, no NXT.
Hey, no,
thank you.
No NXT. The speed has some, I don't know if speed has some like carryover or not.
It does.
But yeah.
But I don't know who. I know that there are some because I've seen it. Like they mention it in the broadcast. Like this guy's on the Speed Championship or whatever.
If they're a primary NXT wrestler that makes like a spot appearance on the main roster, they're probably not going to be here.
Yeah.
So yeah, this also includes announcers, personalities. So like Trips is here.
Okay.
And our rules are if they showed up on the WWE active roster page, they are here. So
let's get into the show. What do we got? Like 75?
Yeah, we got like almost 80 people to work through here.
Get the ball rolling.
Let's start with Xavier Woods. Of the New Day, he now a heel.
The underutilized mid-carder for me. Never like ceiling is main eventer. He's close, but I don't want to, blow the proverbial load too early. So let's set some standards now.
I agree. I think he's a mid-carder.
Yeah.
He hasn't reached the heights even that the other two members of the New Day did. And
if we're going to go through 80 of these, we're going to need to speed it up.
So, Booker T, the five-time champion.
Main eventer.
I would agree. I hate his role now. He's just whatever.
Yeah.
But I did love King Booker and
Prime Booker T is great.
And even now, the shucky ducky quack quack moment always brings it home. Big E.
I'm also in main eventer for him. He did elevate. And I missed him as a wrestler. I loved his championship win, and I'm sad his neck got broken.
Yeah, I can go with that. I think he's like borderline, but sure.
Yeah.
All right, Adam Pearce. And now we're just looking at the GM role.
Right.
Mid-carder. I miss the heel GMs, to be honest, sometimes.
Me too. And I get why they don't do it.
Both. Or sometimes it's over the top, but he's just there. And sometimes it's like it's fun to make fun of the character and the stories he's in. That's
right.
Sure.
Yeah, same.
My only hesitation on having heel GM, Steven, is that puts us only half a step away from the era where the McMahons were always the stars of everything.
Right.
Yeah, and that's fair.
Yeah, we don't need that.
I just think they need to find a middle ground with them. I don't hate them right now. I just think they could be a little bit better.
Sure.
For sure.
Tommaso Ciampa.
Mid-carder, but on his way. I like Ciampa.
Like mid-carder has the potential to go up to main eventer?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I would put him at top of mid-card right now compared to who else is there.
Yeah.
But yeah. Wade Barrett.
Definitely main eventer for both his wrestling, and I love him on mic. Like, he's my favorite commentator.
Yeah, he's really good.
He's great on commentary. He was also good on mic as a performer. With I'm afraid I've got some bad news and all of that. Bad news.
Also, a guy who the beard does wonders for. I think he looks ugly without it, but with it, he's like top tier.
He couldn't have played for the Yankees till now, but now he's good.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, Tonga Loa.
I just don't get it. I mean, I need to see more. I'm putting him in just bad.
Damn.
And that's about where I'd put him.
Yeah. Hayden, I'm kind of there too. Where are you at with this? Like,
I can be sold. I think it's one of those things where he just hasn't really had a chance to do anything that's wowed me. But I also think if he was capable of doing stuff like that, he would get those chances. So
I think for now, it's partly like compared to everybody else in the Bloodline story and there's a lot of top tier talent there, but he still has some bad moments. Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas, but I think for this we look at the Uncle Howdy character
for sure.
For me, he's a mid-carder who is underutilized. They're not
Yep.
using him well.
Well, he's been hurt, so that's been a problem. He's cleared now,
Yeah,
but they're going to hold them till after WrestleMania.
And that's fine. I think that we need something good after Mania, and I think Alexa comes back then too. So
yeah.
All right, we created a category all its own,
specifically just for him,
for Pat McAfee. I can't stand him on commentary. He's even worse on his stupid show.
I can't stand him as a person anymore.
And he's somehow even worse than that on College Game Day. Check out, by the way, depending on when you watch this, there's a great article on The Athletic that actually just came out if you're watching this in April of 2025, but on him and just the stupid, irresponsible stuff he does.
Yeah. He's as
a human
frat bro type. He's the worst.
Yeah.
And I loved him as a kid, being a Colts fan. And that's just how bad I.
He's a 40-year-old frat bro. My apologies, I misspoke there.
But now we're going to happier times. Our first GOAT, easily, no
Paul
question.
Heyman.
Yeah. Yep.
He with Bobby the Brain Heenan, in my opinion, are the greatest managers of all time.
Yeah. Easily. And his character, him on the mic, he is one of the best, if not the best character in the history of WWE.
He also,
no doubt about it.
He also has a huge influence behind the curtain in helping plan stories and elevating more talent and all of these things. So here comes the money.
I put him in mid card. I think some of the last things he did was kind of ruined his character.
It ruined his legacy, in my opinion.
And his legacy. I think he was really good, and then he left, and I think the comeback was not so good.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because, in the ring, Rumble? He did crazy stuff.
Yeah, so did he win the Rumble?
No, but he wanted to.
Okay. That's right, but he was the last guy in, or something. He was the guy. It was terrible. It was
crazy. He made the argument to win the Rumble.
Yeah.
And he tried to to get it. So, but he also a few years prior won that trophy they did in Saudi Arabia, the tournament or whatever. Yeah. Saudi Arabia or Australia. I don't remember. All right. Tama Tonga.
Mid Carter. A little bit better than Tongaloa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's better.
I'm with you on that one too.
Mid.
Santos Escobar.
Also mid Carter. I just need
we're gonna have a lot of mid Carters.
It is. It's gonna be a big.
I think mid Carter for now. If we came back to this in a year or two, I could see him as a main eventer.
Yeah. Is that the Miz?
That is the Miz.
Hall of Famer.
That says, I have massive balls.
I agree.
The Miz deserves it. The Miz has done so much over his career to get out of the original image he had. I love the Miz.
And the original image he had wasn't even really his fault. I mean, he was a reality show star, but there are so many stories of him coming up where talent wouldn't even allow him to be in the locker room with them, and all these things. And he just persevered, and he just never, ever, ever quit. And kudos to him because he's had a really good career. Trips.
Also probably GOAT.
Yeah, I mean, incredible in the ring.
Parts of it.
Incredible character. Definitely, I think right now is doing better than.
I think
Vince McMahon.
I think there are a lot of issues that are going to come. People are going to start having issues with the longer his leadership goes because some of the mid cards and women's stuff aren't great. But he's not Vince, and that's a plus.
Well,
right.
Well,
and also the wrestling was GOAT. So
as a wrestler, I say good but not GOAT. Or great, but not GOAT. Mm-hmm. But as somebody that created a shift in culture from Vince to him, you could see it on screen. You could feel it in the talent.
Yeah, the talent definitely. And you got Punk back, and he's now doing amazing.
Yeah, he is.
Yep. He's been such a good boy. It's all that.
Shamus.
I would say Oh, really? I was going to say main eventer for sure. I don't know if he's Hall of Famer. I think some of you...
He's under the Miz, but he's a Hall of Famer. And
you really think so?
He's going to the Hall of Fame.
I've hated Sheamus for a long time. I did not like Sheamus, but the longer he's been around, the more I started to like come around on him. I 100%.
Yeah.
I agree. I think he's a Hall of Famer. Hey, Knight. So I totally get what you're saying. I feel like if you had picked up wrestling 10, 12 years ago, you'd probably be with us here.
Yeah,
that's true. Right. I'm coming from a very recent pop culture perspective. Yeah.
He was a true main event fixture for years.
Oh, wow.
In WWE. So yeah, he's won every belt except the Intercontinental title. That's why they make like a huge deal out of it, right? So
gotcha.
I've got him there. He does get in. I don't know if it'll be like right away, but he will get in.
Everyone's in. If Great Khali's in, he's
right.
That's true. Rey Mysterio. And the question here is Hall of Famer GOAT, I feel.
I feel like GOAT because he's the best. He's the Lucha Libre everybody knows. And they know that there's a lot of great wrestlers in Mexico, but he's the one that,
and he's one of the best high flyers of all time too.
I do think his the last few years have been. He's not my favorite. I really actually hate when he's on screen, to be honest with you. But I do respect the original body of work.
I kind of can't believe he's still around. Like I honestly would think it might have been better for his legacy if he had retired a couple years ago. But
I can't wait for the next two for Hayden. Let's go to Solo.
Solo Sikoa.
I'm gonna surprise you here. I think Solo is for sure a main eventer.
I'm with you.
I think he has Hall of Fame potential.
Yeah, but not now. But I think I agree. Yeah. I really like when Solo's on screen now. I just find him funny, and I don't actually, and I like his wrestling. I don't love his wrestling, but he's in the main events and he's entertaining.
So you know what concerns me about Solo right now, though, is this is a Nation of Domination situation where Farouk was the leader of the nation at first, and The Rock came in to help resurrect The Rock's career because everybody hated him at first. Like they booed him, Rocky sucks, die Rocky die chants in the arena and all that. Jeez. And it was 1997, or 96 or whatever, Anyway, but then it flipped when The Rock really caught popularity when he created the Rock character,
right?
And Farouk just became like another person. I see that happening with Jacob Fatu right now.
Yeah, but I think Solo's better than Farouk was.
Well, Farouk's a Hall of Famer. Like he was a world champion multiple times over.
I thought he was kind of boring when I watched him on mic.
I mean, it's fair. It was late in his career-ish.
But I think Solo can hang. I think
you're both saying so cool. We'll go there. Yeet.
Give me like 60 seconds on this one, all right? I need a minute. So, testament to the fact that he's just unforgettable and overplayed is I saw him in person, in real life, at the Raw in Buffalo, like a month ago. I have no idea what he did. I have no recollection of what he did. I'm
gonna guess he came out from the back, from like the concourse. Hey,
were you yeeting?
And down the stairs.
I yeeted like twice as a bit. I ironically yeeted. Look, I think.
Oops.
I think his character, I don't want to be disparaging because, again, everyone is two are better wrestlers than I'll ever be, but he's not good in the ring. His character is terrible. His theme song is bad. And, like, all he does is come out, does, like, a 5-minute entrance to, like, one of the worst, like copyright-free sounding trap songs I've ever heard in my life. And he does, like, a spear if he can. Like, I understand he's over. I understand he's really popular with a younger audience, and that's why they're trying to do this. But, like, his whole thing is main event Jey Uso. And I think internally WWE is panicking because they don't think he can pull it off. Like, you don't have someone win in the Royal Rumble if you don't plan on putting them in a main event. I don't think.
I think
it's happened a few times.
Hayden's being worked. Jey Uso is 100% a main eventer. There's no question.
Bro.
Because it's not just his solo career. You're forgetting everything he did as a tag team. And he was great. And he was arguably one of the better parts of the Roman. He might have been better than Roman Reigns for a lot of that storyline. At least more interesting. He's a main eventer. There's no argument. like you cannot like what's happening right now. I still think you're being played, and I think some of the like botches they're kind of leaning in because hatred also drives traffic.
But like even still, like I think he's not.
I'll admit
if
he sucks in the the opening match of probably night one. But I think he's not going to, and I don't hate him on mic. I mean, again, maybe right now it's not the best. Yeah. He's a main eventer though. There's no question.
I think he's mid card Jey Uso. We gotta change the name to mid card Jey Uso.
Work, he's in the main event.
So okay, you had me until you said the botches were like intentional.
I think the one he did it one time. He's done that move so many times and succeeded. Yeah, but everybody has botches. Things. I've seen CM Punk botch a shitload of.
Yeah, of course it happens, right?
It happens, and then I think the one that happened last week.
His ratio is really bad though.
I could be wrong, and maybe he sucks at the main event or at WrestleMania, and like that's going to be disappointing. I think they're steering into it a little bit.
Okay, let me reply.
But again,
hang on.
80 wrestlers. So
let me reply. We're moving through this quick. So Punk, yeah, he does have botches sometimes, especially whenever he tried to do a lariat in AEW. He like broke something every time, but he has a career of great moments that have bought him credibility.
Yep.
To look past those things, and as a singles performer at the top of the card. Like, and Jey Uso doesn't have that. Now, to your credit, the argument you made about the tag teams, yes, they are one of the greatest tag teams of all time, and he has always been a little bit better than his brother. So I'll give you that. I'm going.
I think Jay's better than Solo. So if Solo's in the main event, I think.
Yeah, I'll go.
That's the Lulu.
I actually think he is a little bit better than Solo. Not a lot, but look, for now, I'll put main event Jey Uso in the main event. However, he's got a lot to prove in that main event.
I agree. I don't think he's definitely not even close. He'll get in the Hall of Fame for a tag team for sure. And for the Bloodline. So he'll be a Hall of Famer, but probably has some work to do to get in as a singles competitor.
What I'm about to say is going to sound super disrespectful to Jey Uso, and I don't mean it that way. He has had a great career, but this reeks of like Ultimate Warrior mania in the sense that it is a not great wrestler. Now, the Ultimate Warrior is an awful wrestler, but Ultimate Warrior was a super popular character that moved T-shirts and shit like crazy, and got elevated to championship status, and that is okay.
It's the crowd going to start Mania, and I think that's
fine. That's why we have two belts too.
Yeah, so it's okay. It's gonna be okay.
No, I'm not. We're not.
All right, my next guy, I get the longest piece. I love Akira Tozawa. I love him. I think they need to wrestle him more. I think he's actually pretty good as a wrestler. He's strictly in the mid card, but he's very, very fun.
He's a mid carder. Finn Balor.
I think Finn's a Hall of Famer, but I think it's hard. He's won, I think 3 singles matches in the last 3 years, or 1 singles match in the last. It's horrible.
Yeah, they really just use him to be amazing. His booking does suck, and I do like his character, and I like just his general vibe that is growing on me. I've got anyone Irish, right? I've got that heritage, so I'm gonna have a little bias there. I almost feel like we needed a card between like main eventer and mid carder that's like main eventer of weekly TV, because I think like that's where Finn Balor is at right now.
Actually, I'd be okay with Jay in that card too.
Weekly main eventer.
But Finn's been in the main event. Like Finn wrestled Roman for the championship multiple times. Like he's a main eventer. He won the championship and got hurt, and then Vince just didn't book him ever after that. Yeah. Finn's great. And he's great on mic. He's great. Yeah. He's a main eventer.
He won the first ever Universal title.
Yeah.
And then got hurt in that match and then never was given an opportunity again, really, by Vince. Not really. I have him here. Anybody like issue with that?
I'm cool with that.
But I could see him making it into the Hall of Fame. Because they put
me too, for sure. And he might anyway. As you said, Great Khali, right? So, Grayson Waller.
Mid Carter, he's fine.
Yeah. All that needs to be said.
Yep. Whoa. Braun Strowman.
Another one that's weekly main eventer, but
Uh-huh.
I put him lean more to mid card than
Yeah,
than main
and
event.
he's so much better now than he was when they were trying to make him a main eventer.
I like Bron though as a wrestler, and he's needed. And I think and
Me
then
too,
every
in
story
this
you hear
role.
about him about like when he was so upset when he got released.
Yes.
Like it just made me feel. I like him as a
I do.
guy.
I like him as a person. He had the bullying storyline with Shane McMahon because he really was
so
bullied as a kid,
But yeah,
and he wanted
storyline was
to
so dumb.
empower children, with that. So,
Good.
Nick Aldis.
Better than the other one.
Yep, for sure.
Still mid card, like for the.
Yeah.
But his explanation with the tag team titles, like from a couple weeks ago on SmackDown, is like top tier SmackDown TV. Definitely more of that. That's what I want from the.
He is really funny on
He's so
weekly
stupid.
stuff. He's authoritative yet really funny, which I think is a hard thing to pull off. And I
Okay,
Yeah.
hear me out.
I say Hall of
Goat.
Famer for R-Truth.
Goat.
Ooh.
Oh no, I can't.
Not as
I
a
can't
wrestler
even.
per se, but R-Truth just makes TV so like there's no one better at what he does. R-Truth
That's
is
true.
so perfect. He's just
Yeah.
I like as a wrestler, no, but as a character, the best, the most
I
entertaining.
think, yeah.
I love R-Truth's character. Every time he steps out onto the screen, I know I'm about to enjoy what I'm watching. That's like I'm fine with him in Hall of Fame, but I do think there's no one better at making me interested in watching weekly television than R-Truth.
I think if you're a
reason
GOAT,
to
you
watch
need to be an incredible wrestler and you need to be incredible on the mic, right? Those standards are higher. So
That's
I think Hall
fine,
of
but I
Fame
do
is
think he's up in the
appropriate.
top like echelon. He is so good.
I would say this. Like I have him in Hall of Fame because he's had a long career and good for him, and he's faced a lot of adversity and overcome it. And that's all amazing. And he's done so many things with the company and
loved by
amazing.
everybody.
Yeah. That said, to me, to be in the GOAT category, you have to be the reason at some point people tuned into the show.
Mm-hmm.
And that is Stone Cold Steve
That's
Austin
fair.
territory. It's at Rey Mysterio at one point, right?
Yeah.
All
It's
right,
not
put him in
R-Truth.
Hall of Fame. I love R-Truth.
That's high praise. Butch, aka Pete Dunne.
Mid Carter.
Yep.
Man, he's capable.
Could be
of so
better.
much more than this.
I know. Could be better, but
Tyler's not mad, he's disappointed.
Yeah. Angela Dawkins.
is that Dawkins?
Is that Dawkins?
Uh-oh.
See, that's it's. Oh yeah, it is. It is
Yeah,
Angela Dawkins.
Ha!
You're right. Good job.
Yeah.
I like Dawkins, mid Carter, but yeah, he's a mid Carter. But
He's a mid Carter. He is not the best wrestler in his tag team, but man, he looked so much better.
He did.
On-
A
in
lot
the
better
other
than
day
he did
when they won the
back
title.
in when it was him against the Usos for
Yep.
17 pay-per-views in a row.
All great matches, by the way. But
Yeah, they were. They were very good.
Sami Zayn.
Hall of Famer, close to GOAT, but Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I can live with that.
I'm with you. He's so good at just like I feel bad because like he's incredible in storyline. He's an incredible wrestler, but the way they've been booking him lately, he's just been getting the shit kicked out of him. Like
he needs
physically.
a break, but he'll get another shit match, I think, at some point. Actually, I bet they do a Jey Uso Sami Zayn match.
Think so?
I could see it. I could see it. All right,
Okay, there we go.
I'll
Trying to
just
get us
leave it
aligned
like
again
that.
here. JD McDonough.
mid Carter.
He is.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
He is also capable of more,
Yep.
I think. Karrion Kross.
Mid Carter, who's also capable of more.
Yeah, but like bottom of mid card, that dude
Yeah.
is just not landed.
they
with
haven't
fans.
wrestled. Yeah, they can't figure out what to do with him. I mean, they got rid of his whole like faction and kept just his wife. But yeah, Jacob Fatu.
Jacob
Main
Fatu.
event.
I love you so
He's
Absolutely
a main
main eventer. He's awesome.
Definitely
I love
Hall of
you
Fame
so
potential.
much.
For sure, Hall of Fame potential. Could be GOAT.
All right, Michael Cole. Is Michael Cole the best announcer of all
Mike,
time?
no. Yes.
Yes.
No, Jim Ross. Jim Ross. I
I
like.
say Jim Ross still.
Michael Cole has.
The argument to Michael
Again,
Cole
I hate
is
his recent work.
yeah,
But
it's
definitely he's in the GOAT for wrestling.
it's GOAT
like
versus
announcing.
Hall of Fame conversation.
It's
right?
him
That's
versus
where we're
Jim-
starting.
him and Jim Ross would be in the GOATs, and then every other announcer.
I think he's GOAT because to me, like he is the voice of wrestling. Like when I think about wrestling in my mind, he's the voice
for sure. For the new generation, it's Michael Cole.
Yeah. I almost knock him down a peg just because of his association with a surf.
That's exactly where I'm at. Exactly where I'm at, Tyler. His recent work puts him down.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Other than that, Brutus Creed.
Mid-Carter. I like Brutus Creed.
And I know that without looking at the roster at all.
Good for you.
I don't, but Brutus Creed.
I would have guessed that was Julius. I like Brutus Mid-Carter for sure. Fun could be done more. They need to push Alpha Academy and give him some belts, to be honest.
Yeah. Randall Keith Orton.
Daddy's back.
Randy Orton is a GOAT. It's GOAT. Yeah. He's the GOAT.
That's a short conversation.
Yeah, I just saw him like he was on an interview and he was like, if I'm lucky enough to get into the Hall of Fame, and then like because they're asking him who would he induct, and who would he want to like induct him? He said John. But it's like Randy, you're surefire Hall of Famer. There's no question.
Yeah. Right.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Probably one of the most iconic moves in wrestling. Also.
Yeah. It's like when Connor Bedard got drafted by the Blackhawks and they asked him, if he was excited to play, and he's like, "Well, I have to make the team first." And everybody's like, "Okay."
Shinsuke's hard.
Yeah,
he's a mid-carder that should be a main eventer, but has never really been given.
I think that's exactly how I describe him.
Yeah,
he didn't get pushed by Vince because Vince didn't understand him really.
Also
should have won the belt. So
there's some of that too.
Yeah, there's a lot of play. Julius Creed is also in mid-carder. Again, fun tag team. And I think Ivy Niles should be the one to win one of the belts, but also Chad Gable, because what the hell are we doing here?
Okay, this one for me is really hard, actually.
I don't think so. I think Seth Rollins is the GOAT, or
Hall
is it
Hall of Famer?
All right, well, I got outvoted, but
I haven't decided yet. But
I think Seth's matches, like if you go back and look at Seth's matches, like over the last, 10 years, he had one terrible match, and that was Vince's fault.
Which one?
The Hell in a Cell.
Hell in a Cell with Bray Wyatt, right?
Yeah. Even I know that was a rough one.
But like, name a bad Rollins match. Like he's a visionary.
And as a personality, too,
a revolutionary,
incredible. You're talking me up, Steven. I'll go with you. Give him GOAT status.
You said, is he the reason you're tuning in? And yes, I think Seth Rollins is one of the reasons I'm tuning in. I know when I get a Rollins match, the match is going to be a banger. Like every time.
I have two criteria for like GOAT. It is one, are they the reason people tune into a show or buy a pay-per-view or whatever? And two, do they elevate everyone they get in the ring with? And he does.
Yes.
So you've talked me into it too, and I talked myself into it. So there we go. Okay.
Andrade is a mid-carder who has main event potential.
I agree.
I actually really like his match.
If they give him a proper push, I think he can do it. He was totally wasted in AEW.
Yeah, he's a great wrestler.
Yeah, Ludwig Kaiser.
Also mid-carder who I wish would win a match. I like him.
Right? I think he's right there with Finn Balor. I like him. Kind of.
Grayson or Austin Theory is also a mid-carder who got pushed too early and now is being punished for that. For something that's not his fault. Also,
that 10-second match with Jey Uso a couple of weeks ago, I honestly just felt fucking bad for him.
He needs a face. He needs a face turn, and he needs to turn on Grayson Waller, and then he needs a little bit of a.
No, he's getting buried by Trips, so that Trips can win the approval of the rest of the locker room. Because Vince pushed.
That's what I said. I think he's being punished by.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm saying but it's for such a petty reason. It's like
it's so dumb. By all accounts, everything I've heard about Austin Theory, I didn't know this because on Mike he's like a super douche, especially with his little selfie thing. But I've heard he's actually like one of the nicest guys around, which makes me feel extra bad. But
he also needs to learn to not post certain pictures in places where it might be revealed online.
No,
this I think is the hardest. But
no, it's not.
Okay, are you guys goats?
He's going to be a goat.
No.
Acknowledge me.
At this point. Yeah. And it's the last 4 years, Steven.
It is.
He has been so head and shoulders above through a kind of turbulent time.
Yeah.
In WWE. So, and the world for part of it.
Yeah, right?
So, yeah.
Penta's a mid-carder.
For now.
Who
It's too
will
early
be
to
a main
tell.
eventer.
But I think,
he's a great wrestler.
He is.
Okay.
I think he needs more character.
I think we have another for the insufferable blowhard for different reasons.
Ooh,
Dude,
this is tough because Brock Lesnar is like a piece of shit person. I don't want to give any accolades to at all.
Brock Lesnar's a Hall of Famer, but I don't know if I'd put him in GOAT.
He is a Hall of Famer, though.
But you could put him down in insufferable blowhard, and I'd be fine with it.
It's not what he says that pisses me off, though. It's just who he is.
Just who he is as a person.
Like McAfee, it's the whole package,
right?
Including what he says. Like,
well, here's the thing: will they give him Hall of Famer status eventually? Will we forget?
Well, assuming he doesn't get charges.
They have somebody in the Hall of Fame who murdered someone, most likely. So
there's more than one, isn't there?
Well, for sure, Jimmy Superfly Snuka is suspected of murder back in the 80s. And it just kind of got buried.
To happier times.
Yeah. Okay. So if we're just looking at the wrestling and not at the whatever, he is a Hall of Famer. I don't think he's one of the greatest of all time, though. He never had enough long classic matches for that.
Nope.
So, okay. I'm going to admit right away,
that's Kit Wilson, and I like Kit Wilson. He's part of Pretty Deadly. I enjoy their tag team.
So fun.
Mid-carder.
They're mid-carders. Yeah.
Mid-carders.
But I like them. I think, like, even though they're mid-carders, I think they have a really valuable place in the roster. It's just, I like the comedy of their characters a lot.
My boy Otis.
Main eventer.
Great mid-carder. Great mid-carder.
What?
Who also tried to get pushed into the... Okay, so Hayden, when they were trying to push him as a main eventer, I would have been with you as just bad.
I said main eventer.
You think he's a main eventer?
Yeah.
Why?
I'm not sure. I think as a strong man, as that kind of
but he literally doesn't ever main event anymore, so I don't think
I know.
I like Otis though. Otis is one of my favorite. Like, he's up there when he comes on. I know it's going to be pretty entertaining.
Yeah,
they didn't do enough with him against Chad Gable, by the way.
Yeah. When we do the women's one, we need to add a tier between like main eventer and mid carder. That's like weekly main eventer versus WrestleMania main eventer. Because I think he's a weekly main eventer.
He isn't even a weekly main eventer though. He's like in the middle of the second hour most of the time.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That is true. That's where he was at the Raw.
John Cena,
SmackDown.
Go. A big mouth, John Cena.
I mean, fine. He's
goat
here.
He's GOAT. And he might be number one in the GOAT category.
Oops. I did not mean to do that. Okay, there you go. I did actually. Johnny Wrestling.
Mid Carter. Sorry.
Who is capable more? I do want to say, like, he can do more. I don't think he'll ever be a world champion necessarily, but I can see, like, IC US type of thing. Okay, Joe Tessitore, I think, has been a breath of fresh air.
I think he pairs well with Wade.
Yeah, so, I don't want to go main event talent for him. Like,
okay. Do you really?
I do. I think he's great. I love how different it is from Cole.
Yeah.
He has more of the sports announcer feel. Yep. And it's because he calls college football. That's where he came from.
Which I think kind of adds some legitimacy to wrestling in a way.
Yeah. And that's why they brought him in.
Another hard one. Actually, a really hard one. I want him in GOAT, but I think maybe Hall of Famer.
He's a Hall of Famer.
I love KO. That's why I want him in GOAT. But yeah, Hall of Famer.
That's fair.
Yeah, he's an easy Hall of Famer.
I think AJ Styles.
I don't know
if another Hall of Famer without too much. This one's not close. He's just a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
We have another Just Bad joining Tonga.
Hall of Fame?
Tonga.
Yeah.
Otis is in Just Bad.
Omos.
That sucks.
Omos.
Yeah.
Omos.
Yeah.
You said Otis, and I was like...
No, I think I said Omis.
Did you? Yeah, you said Otis.
Ole Miss, the football.
As Cornette would say, almost.
Yeah.
Wow.
Apollo Crews, like, it's hard to put him anywhere other than He's like mid-card talent. I guess
I hate
mid-card.
putting people in just back because it feels mean. But
Yeah, it does.
I
Should have named it something else.
but he seems like,
You should have called it bathroom break. No, is that meaner?
that's meaner. That's worse.
Jesus.
I just feel like, he has really tried, and they tried pairing him with different managers and stuff, and it's just not working. And he's back. They haven't put him on TV yet though. So yeah.
Apollo Crews is another mid-carder.
Yeah, I agree.
For sure.
Who should be better? Like, what the
Yeah.
hell? Byron Saxton.
Bad. God, I don't. He was terrible on mic. Like when he was an announcer with Corey Graves. Just awful.
I kind of agree. And the way they demoted him was very publicly like shaming and trying to.
And now he's like one interview for like 20 seconds a week.
Yeah,
it's pretty rough.
Sucks. Okay, Bron Breakker.
I almost
like bottom.
He's
tier
like
main
top
eventer?
of mid-carder because I don't think he's a main event yet. But I think if you do this in like a year, he's in.
If we do this a year from now,
you think he'll
he's
be
up
there?
here?
Yeah. We should have a future main eventer. That's what the category.
Yeah. Oh, we just get. There's only so much room on the screen.
I know.
Like,
Ilya is a mid-carder. Dragon Lee is a mid-carder.
Cody Rhodes is a bit. No, I'm kidding.
Cody Rhodes is a Hall of Famer.
No, hold on. Let's have an actual. Is he GOAT though?
No.
I feel like we're really close to that at this point.
He is. But here's my argument against him.
Okay.
He was not the best, or like Roman. I mean, Roman got overpushed, but Cody was like mid-carder for his first run. He went to AEW and he like became the guy, and he came back. And he has become the guy, but I don't think no. It has been like 4 years.
Steven,
because it's the thing is stuff. It's like, can you give someone GOAT status that has Stardust or Gold Dust, whichever one it was?
I can for surviving that, and
that's true. That's
here,
true.
Steven, let me make the counter argument, and I hate you for making me do this with Cody Rhodes, but he changed wrestling.
Yeah,
I've heard you and I talked about this, how like in Star Wars, there's the Qui-Gon theory where Qui-Gon's death is the most important moment in Star Wars, and Cody leaving is the most important moment in wrestling. It allowed AEW to come up, and that elevated new talent. He came back. He was the one who drove a lot of the back half of the Bloodline story. Just everything. And here's the thing. He has had such a massive influence in the wrestling industry over the last almost 10 years now.
You convinced me. Put him in GOAT. Also, I think his next heel run, which he'll do, I'm pretty sure.
He's not going to wait 20 years.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
Carlito is almost in just bad for the current stuff, but he's a mid-carder for his original.
His old stuff is good. He's more like comedy now. He doesn't actually get in the ring that much. Okay. Charles Montgomery Punk.
Listen up, Dwayne, you bald fraud.
Punk is for sure a Hall of Famer. But here's the thing.
I want him in GOAT.
Depending on how, I think like if we record this after WrestleMania, depending on how that main event goes on night one, the triple threat with him and Roman and Seth Rollins, I think like that is what could put him over into GOAT.
No, he's a GOAT. He was 100% one who people turned in for specifically for his match.
I do.
Can I make the counter argument here too?
Yeah, I love this for you. You got to make two fun ones.
Yeah, I hate you for this too. But can you really be the GOAT when you walk away for 10 years? Or 8 years?
Yeah, I think so. Right?
Okay,
like the best years of his prime.
Tyler, you're right. But what happened when he came back?
He was a whiny baby for 2 years and then went to WWE.
Well, but the pop, Tyler.
Yeah, right, you're right. That was electric. And like, I want to put him in GOAT. I do.
I think he'll end the day there.
Okay, let's
put him at the top of Hall of Fame for me, will you?
He is definitely.
Let's do this because I'm changing my own mind at this point. But let's look at the people in Hall of Fame and look at the people in GOAT. Which one, if you just take CM Punk, which row would you identify with more?
The top row.
one.
I say the top one. Because I looked across and I'm like, I can't.
He
like,
is so much better than.
Like,
than
I
Miz.
love Sheamus, but come on. Like,
Yeah, yes, I know, I'm with you. You're not.
It's a whole other bar.
I
other
talked
bar.
myself out of it. Thank you. All right. Jimmy Uso.
Mid-Carter.
Yep.
He is a mid-Carter. Drew McIntyre.
I prayed for this and it happened.
Main eventer with Hall
Top
of Fame
of main
potential.
event, but
Yeah, top of main
almost Hall of Fame for me.
I think he's almost guaranteed for Hall of Fame.
Yep.
After a year from now, we're going to be saying Hall of Fame easy. Carmelo Hayes.
Sure. Mid-Carter main event potential.
Yes, I put him up here, like near Escobar. Okay, Kofi Kingston.
Main event for a body of work.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with you. And for the excellent Royal Rumble moments every year.
Yes.
That too. Gunther.
Main eventer.
He
I've come around on Gunther hard, man. I think he's one of the best heels currently active. He's super imposing.
He hasn't done anything of note in his run, in my opinion.
He's got really good physicality.
Except
and like
have the title for a year.
But
Yeah,
that's what I
right?
mean. But he hasn't done it's not.
You
been
don't
that
think he's earned
entertaining
it?
of a run.
I will say
No,
that
I think he did. I loved his Intercontinental run. I think they just didn't do that well with him for the main belt.
I will say, I think like for me,
I like Gunther.
the moment that had me come around on Gunther was seeing him in person at a live show at Raw, because I think like his physicality, if you can see it without the screen barrier there, it's incredible.
Yeah, I'm with you.
It's like he's the only wrestler. Like when people make impacts, when he makes impacts in the crowd, people are like groaning, like wincing, because it looks like it hurts. Like,
Yeah, they need to give him. I mean,
brutal.
they've been messing with his finisher, and I think they should. And now it looks better, and it looks stronger. Chad Gable,
Shorty G
should be a main eventer, but in the mid card. God, I hate it, but I love Chad. Chad Gable's a great wrestler, and they need to how has he not had a belt? It's so stupid. So
I'm putting him right next to Otis so they can make out.
Yeah.
Montez Ford. I think you can
eventer.
repeat everything you just said.
Yeah.
Here.
I feel like he gets the main event.
Why? But why? Like, really, why though? Because
splash.
what has he done in the last few years? That team has been buried.
Splash. The frog splash.
Yeah, I know, but that team, I'm with you. Like, the athleticism is amazing.
Fine, put him in mid card, but he should be higher.
He should be a main eventer, and I hope that team gets a really long, good run.
And I think they will, because I feel like the tag team division is actually pretty strong over there.
Yeah. Okay, I am bad at telling the difference between Eric and Ibar.
That's another mid Carter.
I'd say for both of them, right? Like,
yes, but that other one's not Ibar. Or there he is. Yeah.
Here. Okay, now we got to look and find out who the Wyatt Six people are.
Is that Dexter Loomis?
I think that is Dexter Loomis. I'm just gonna like double check.
No, Dexter. That's not Dexter or Eric, so it's the other one. Who's the third one? I'm
looking. Whenever I get to somebody with a mask on the list, I take a look.
You're like, who the fuck? Yeah, right.
Yeah. Sorry, everybody. We know like every other name.
It's this guy, Dum Dums.
Well, doesn't that, Tyler, kind of tell you something if you can't remember his name? That he's
it tells me they haven't been on TV in 6 months. That's what it tells me. Joe Gacy. Sorry,
Joe. Yeah, I don't know. Mid Carter.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they kind of all are at this point.
Yes, I think you put Eric Rowan. That's Dexter Loomis, and then Eric Rowan also in there.
Eric Rowan in his first run with the Wyatt family was fantastic, and that was such a great stable. When the Wyatts were like the backwoods, like almost Deliverance like type of group, not the whole what was his name? Who was the alter ego, Steven?
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah. But anyway, sorry. It's it'll come to me as soon as we hit stop. But yeah, it was a great run. So I'd like to see him him do better or do.
Dom
more.
is like a high mid Carter, I think, right?
Dom as
I
a
would agree.
character is great. Dom as a wrestler is still very much improving.
Okay. Yeah.
But
And he's young, man. He's got time.
yeah, I mean he's not young anymore. But he's still young.
Yeah, he is.
He's
He's only
27.
24.
He's 27.
He's 27. Oh yeah, he's 27. So okay, I think the age factor is a little less for him. But I will say, like, as a character, probably one of the best currently.
Yeah,
on the
I'm
roster.
really.
I mean, all of the battles around him, all the custody battles, be it when he was
going
a kid,
back to when he was like 8 or 9.
Be it for Liv and Rhea, like he's great at that kind of shit. And I don't think there's anyone else who really can do what he does there.
That's what we need, by the way. We need Finn Balor and Damian Priest in a ladder match for custody of Dirty Dom. Speaking of Damian Priest,
Main eventer.
He's grown on me so much. Like, man, he's good.
I think he needs to be able to do. I think, like, I agree he's a main eventer, but I think for me to really feel that way, I need to see. He just needs better storylines as a solo, and I think the Judgment Day needs to disband and be scattered to the winds because they're just like that faction is bringing down everybody who's in it right now.
Well, and it's just like they just keep haunting him, and he keeps going back to fight with them.
Right.
But last summer, Hayden, when he had the storyline with Gunther, I thought that was actually really good. I thought the whole
that one super well.
Where Gunther was like, you're just street trash, you're nothing. And it made you really sympathetic to this character that we'd never really been sympathetic to before.
Right.
And it made you want to cheer for him. And like
Gunther had like the elitist angle over him.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. Okay, Steven, it's your moment.
I like Corey Graves. I hated Corey Graves for a long time. I thought he was horrible.
It's your moment.
As a heel announcer, but recently he's been much more like reserved. But Wade Barrett did it much faster. Like knowing when to do the heel shtick and when to sound like normal. It's a fine line. We don't all need to be Jerry the King because God, that was obnoxious always.
It was very 90s and he just never stopped.
Yeah, Corey was bad, and I hated him for a while. But there's recent stuff I've become a bigger fan, and I'm actually sad he's like on NXT now because I think he's actually pretty good. So I put him at mid Carter, and that's sad.
I think it was hugely unfair to him too.
Yes.
So Steven, it's your moment again.
Logan Paul's a mid Carter with main event matches because his matches where it's like scripted and heavily like planned out, pretty good because he's athletic. But you look at some of the other matches, garbage. So
I'm with you. I think I think he's perfect at like the weekly main eventer, right? Like I think he's really good on weekly TV. He's good in storylines. He has good very good in-ring talent, more than I wish he did.
Yeah,
because
it makes him kind of undeniable, and he's an asshole. But I honestly think Logan Paul is at like the top of mid card. But they need to stop putting him in main event matches.
I can't put him in main event because you look at everyone else in main event, and I don't like. They want him to be there, but I'm not. Like I'm not relying on the second wrestler in that match to carry the match a little bit.
He's
right.
Yeah. So
you can put him in Insufferable Blowhard.
No, I'm not going to do that. I mean, I kind of want to, but no. I actually talent-wise would put him in main event. I'm gonna defer to you two here, but I again hate you both for making me do this, but
I know.
Yeah, I think the talent is undoubtedly there, and I think the character became much better when he started leaning into the fact that everybody hates him.
Yes.
But the fact that everybody hates him has reasons behind it.
Yeah, and it's nothing to do with wrestler. It's like
who he is as a person, how he uses his platform. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But if we are going to put Bork Laser into the Hall of Fame, then
So excuse me.
So there you go.
Top of mid card or bottom of mid card, Steven?
Mid card.
Okay.
If he has another great moment at Mania again, he needs to be up here. But
no,
I know, Steven.
Bad Tyler.
Say it with me, L.A.
L.A. Knight. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's the.
I feel like he's almost in main event, and I know you're gonna hate that.
I think he's the very bottom of main event. I think he is there. I think he needs to do a little more character work. He needs to have a run where he's not just Stone Cold.
I think if Bron Breakker's in mid card, then it's hard to say LA Knight
100%
should be in main event. But I do think LA Knight might be a little more over. I don't know. Bron is over too. They're both really.
LA Knight's just done it for a little bit longer.
Yeah, that's also true.
So I feel like LA Knight
put him in mid card and be done.
Above or below Logan Paul?
I don't know. I think
Okay.
Bronson Reed will have main event potentially, like at a.
He might be there by now if he hadn't gotten hurt.
Yeah.
I feel like he's like here.
Yeah.
Like that top 4 of mid card is really good for the future.
Yes.
And I think you can do that too. And
and Mr. Angel Garza is also a mid carder who is a decent wrestler, but just
great potential. In that moment where he just
mid carder Tyler.
Oh, I'm sorry. They're all blending together at this point. Sorry. There we go.
Also,
and that moment where he just rips his pants off, it's just electrifying.
Couple missing from the list, unfortunately. Just whatever. Okay. Elton Prince, the other half of the Pretty Deadly. Mid Carter. Berto, the other half of Angel Garza, is also a mid Carter.
Yeah.
Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, who are like relatively new. Where would you put them? Because God, their matches have all felt the same.
I know you're not a fan.
But they're very they're very good wrestlers. They just every match has felt the same. That's my problem with them.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna defer to you, Tyler.
Okay, Steven, I'm gonna counterpoint that with saying almost every John Cena match feels the same. Because they do. This one,
are you saying the tag teams in the main event? I mean, I like them enough. Like they're entertaining.
No, I think they're mid carders. I don't know that feeling that sameness is going to be a thing. Like Hulk Hogan is considered one of the greatest attractions of all time in wrestling, and by some really poor judgment people, a great wrestler. But all of his matches were exactly the same. The only switch was when he went from good guy to bad guy. And then they were still all the same, just bad guy version. Which meant he took that stupid weightlifting belt out and whipped people for a couple minutes in the middle of it. Okay, so we have, to recap, 1, 2, 3, 10 in the GOATs category.
Nice.
It's a lot, but I feel like it's worthy.
I think everybody is in their spot. And up there, like everyone belongs up there, and you're right. Truth doesn't, as much as that makes me sad.
7 in Hall of Fame, but Steven, when you look at the list now as they came out, like does R-Truth really belong amongst that?
No, that's what I'm saying. You're right. You're right. The one I kind of want to put up there is Kevin Owens.
I just don't think it's there yet. I don't. He's a Hall of Famer.
He's another one where like every match he's in is freaking great.
But I don't think he's had enough of them yet.
Steven, I think he connects with you, which is awesome.
That's true.
But I am not sure that he has the universal like appeal. Of some of the others. The one I think we're going to kick ourselves for in a little bit is Drew McIntyre. I think.
Yeah, he could be in Hall of Fame.
I think he's already a Hall of Famer. I really do.
Do you see him in the GOAT?
All right,
I'm fine moving Drew McIntyre up.
No, I don't see him in GOAT yet. I think he has to have a couple more years like the one he just did. But
all right, let's end this. Who's the most likely in each category to make it into GOAT? Because it's probably Drew. Maybe
it's Drew here.
Is it? I think it's Fatu in the main event one with Gunther being.
Fatu I think or Gunther, yeah. I don't think Finn's in his 40s now.
Same with Damien. Damien's too old too. All right, a mid Carter. Which one?
You don't want my answer to that.
I think it's
Logan Paul. It's Logan Paul.
No, I don't think Logan Paul.
If he sticks with it long enough, he's going to main event WrestleMania within 3 years.
Well, this has been but he can make it into Hall of Fame, but I just can't see him in GOAT.
No, Hall of Fame, I think, is his ceiling too.
I just don't.
I
see
feel
it
like
as
he's going to go
possible.
down as one of the most notorious heels of all time.
That's
Like, once
true,
he
but how
gets-
much of that is just because people don't like him as a person? Also?
Doesn't matter.
And I don't
it
think
doesn't
he's going to
matter.
wrestle regularly.
Yeah, and I know,
Yeah.
but
not there often
I mean, Brock Lesnar was part-time the moment he came back. He's, but
He's
Hall of
not in
Fame.
the GOAT category.
True.
He's in Hall of Fame.
So, okay, if I'm not picking Logan Paul, then did you say Dom?
Or Bron Breakker, actually.
I don't think Bron.
Okay.
I just feel like guys like that are going to be injury prone later.
Yeah.
I
He's
can see
also
Dom. Dom's great character, and that is one half the
for
battle.
fun. I'll go with you there. Like,
Okay.
yeah, why not? Do we really have to pick somebody in just bad?
No, because there's 3 of them.
Because it's Omos.
Oh, yeah. He's almost not in.
Omos and Kali inducted together into some weird.
Oh, dude, we should bring Kali back and have Omos against Kali. That could be fun.
Hell yeah, why not? In a boneyard match.
Nice.
Let's do it. Any final thoughts? Were there any travesties or injustices? I think we kind of
No, I think we're good.
Yeah, I think we're good.
I'm sad because Finn had Hall of Fame potential for sure. It's
Still
not
does.
GOAT
Still does.
potential.
But
Yeah.
But we're
okay, so
running out of runway here. We're not in the Fast and Furious movies.
Steven, gun to my head, I think Finn Balor is in the Hall of Fame. But I just look at body of work and I'm like, I see Finn Balor getting into the Hall of Fame like 3 or 4 or 5 years after he retired.
Yeah, and that's
Not like immediate stop everything and make a huge deal out of it, like with a certain Triple H who never needs the attention at all.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, and they've waited before they wait. Well, they waited years with Taker because they weren't sure if he was really done. Probably going to come back and do another one. Cena will be in the Hall of Fame like next year. So, yeah.
Word
All
up.
right. Anything?
Sure.
Our next one, we will do 2 more of these. We're going to do a women's one. And so we're not misogynistic assholes. Trust us on that. And then we will do a Legends one.
Hell yeah.
Leading up to WrestleMania 41, which we will have a live watch along for. So join us for that. Always a good time as Hayden will cheer on. Hayden will be yeeting 5 minutes in. It's gonna be a good time. So,
Sure. Whatever.
Yeah.
it's gonna
All
be
right.
great.
Thanks everybody.
It's
Have
gonna be
a good day. Later.
Deuces.
Take care, y'all.